We overwork, we overeat, we overshop, we overdrink, whatever, just to not feel it, just to numb down the voice of the soul that's just trying to get your attention. And as you've referred to it, and Paul, the pain teacher, you want to address that at all for people?
Yeah, the pain teacher, it only shows up when you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. It's very simple. If you put your fork in an outlet and it shocks you, you shouldn't be doing that. But you got to experience it. Good for you. But then you should have enough life experience before, if you see a dog that's, foaming at the mouth and on a chain and it bites you every single time, how many times before you stop addressing that dog and try to address it differently? Maybe with food, maybe. So, but it's the same reaction. And I don't know how many times I'll hear, and this is how consumed people are in their ego. They'll confess to me how broken their bodies are. And I go, oh, I can fix that. I can take care of that. And then they will literally tell me, oh, no, I don't have any pain. I'm feeling great.
What?
Right in front of my face.
They changed the story.
Right in front of my face.
So they want the pain then.
They're not ready to let go of the pain yet.
Got it.
Because they're not enough of an addict for it to ruin their life yet.
Yeah, and they're not willing to, kind of what I'm saying is, do the things necessary that they know they need to do to get work to where they say they want to get to. But it's going to create pain, because growth is pain, right? But it's temporary. And what I always say is, you're in pain anyway. Just pick your pain, one that's going to be productive or one that's just going to be unproductive.
Mm-hmm. And one leaves you with more pain, like if you do too many hang cleans, and then you blow a knee out, or you don't tap in jiu-jitsu because your ego, and you hurt yourself riding your bike too fast, or doing something let's say not extreme, but over repetitive. You hurt yourself in the gym, and now you're in pain. You've carried pain, a learning lesson, but you're still in pain because remember what we said earlier, people confuse boredom with peace. Yes. And so they're at least I'm still in pain. But if they have to acknowledge this pain, which leads to quiet and peace, that's unsettling to most people because it's not what they're familiar with, which means that there's no more push and pulls and distractions and painful relationship lessons and things like that. So they're not used to sitting in silence, and those people need to really break before they hear the whispers.
You know what? That just triggered something in me that I think too, what's really sad, Alex, is a lot of people kind of default to feeling these painful things and the painful habits that they keep recreating in their lives because they want to feel something, like they don't have other things to feel. And just back to kind of feeling alive. It's like, if I didn't have this, I would have nothing. I would just be like dead, like walking around, my body's walking around, but I'm really dead inside. I mean, that's kind of a sad thought. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that idea? Or what would you say to people like, oh, that's me? Like, I don't even know. Like, if I wasn't feeling this, I pretty much wouldn't feel anything.
Yeah. I think that's an absence of feeling is also a feeling. And at the same time, I reflect on like our parents or family members, or most of society doesn't have a Paul Chek in their corner. They don't have the training that we've had. They don't have the psychological, and even if they did go to be a psychological major or a psychologist, they don't have the movement, the diet, the quiet. They don't have those tools.
The comprehensive,
Yeah. And so at some point, I can't blame people for being stuck in marketing and bad food. Because I mean, if that's all you had in front of your face telling you that was what's good for you,
it works.
And then it works, and it's the numbing. And then, but at some point, I mean, the people that end up in my office are the ones that say this all the time. I've tried everything. I've listened to everyone. I've been to every doctor. I've tried everything on Instagram. I've been to other coaches. You're my last hope. Hope you can help me. And people said, that you're going to be the person that can help me. And I'm like, if you're going to do the work, I'll help you. And then they value it. The amount of gratitude and effort that I get from clients, I don't get non-compliance because they see me doing it. They come to my house, they see like supplements, and I'm sitting in my gym right now, and I'm out in nature, and I tell them about how Sarah and I, this is our dream. We drew this house. I'm not even kidding. And a year before we moved here, we drew a house with a long driveway and like this weird shape, and it was almost identical. And we didn't go on vacation, and we didn't spend random money on stuff we didn't need. You know, we bought coaching from Paul. I crashed my car and gave Paul the money from the insurance so I can get more coaching from him. And then got my stuff dialed in. So my priorities were in this place. And then they see that the product of choosing things. And then they get to reflect on that while they're here and go, wow, I do spend a lot of money chasing random things, and I'm still not happy either way. And they're like, you must have it all figured out. I go, no, but I'm more figured out than most people because I'm actually applying the things. And then if they don't work, then I chuck them, you know, because I don't need them to be scientifically proven on paper. If someone tells me, you know, gives me an article that, this certain healthy thing is bad for me, but it gives me great results and it doesn't mess up the rest of my life, I go, well, I don't need any validation. I'm validation. This is a validation of what works or not. This is a validation of what works or not, you know? And if I'm looking at them truly and purely through a lens and not ignoring, putting fate, like I'm not in a terrible relationship going, this is great, my house is on fire, this is fine, I'm looking at it from a realistic perspective of what is actually in front of me. So I think, once again, I think even feeling nothing is a feeling.